Why, good day peoples, and welcome to another fantabulous episode of T-sHRZ Sucks at Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. Now today we're going to do an Eve run. Eve is one of my preferred characters since she kicks ass when she's at low health, just like the usual folk in real life. I don't go on hard quite yet because I'm not quite ready there yet. A lot of time and preparation for these sort of things. Burning Basement, one of my new favourite areas. You probably heard that 5 trillion times, and thanks to that big fat worm, that's not euphemism, finally find a secret rune, which is cool. Could go there, but just finish off these buggers. I don't think I've talked about this kick-ass song. I mean, it's one of my favourite new tracks in Afterbirth. Well, not new tracks since Afterbirth has been around for a while, so I'd say it's one of my new additional tracks. Fundamentum, I think it's called. Really cool. Don't know what the hell Fundamentum means, and you probably don't either because I think it's just a made-up word. Pisces? Or Pisces if you're so inclined. Not too bad. So could be better. Well, at least I'm in a demon form. So yeah, it's been a while since I talked about this run. This run went pretty darn well. Go to a certain dark place. I'm not talking about my anus. So this is the shop, as you can see. Hardly anything there apart from placebo. Not particularly helpful in this state. But I picked it up anyway. And used it because I had no idea at the time what placebo did because I was completely new to that item. So yeah, that's why I used it, because I had no idea what to do with it. But now I do know that placebo basically has the same effect as the pill you're holding, I think. That's basically what it is, right? If you have a pill, placebo's just another pill of with the same effect. As I said, not particularly helpful at this moment in time because Eve knows not to take too many pills at this moment in time. And I used it again well, I'm just scratching my head really, metaphorically speaking, because if you heard me scratch my head, it would sound a bit like this. Did that come through right? Could you hear the scratching? Because it's quite quiet in comparison to my monotone voice. So yeah, there's one thing that has been bouncing around my mind recently. You know, even though there's lots of stuff bouncing around my mind. But before we get to that, it's the Headless Horseman. Speaking of losing one's head from his body, I kinda lost my head when I went to rent Spectre, that James Bond film. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand why people may like James Bond, but as someone who's a noob to that franchise, I mean, the only other film I've watched other than Spectre is Skyfall, a film that's disappointed me as well. Get the pony, nice, smack that pony. Yep, insert joke here that, you know, to replace that not so joke. So yeah, like I was saying, Spectre, the James Bond film, I will be honest, I was disappointed. Now I know I've hammered it on I kept talking about it on Facebook, and I've talked to family and relatives about it and stuff, but I might as well go out and say it now in a more public area. Well, it's not public, but you know, YouTube is available to the public. Am I the only one? I just want some validation really. Am I the only one that thinks that Spectre wasn't that good? I mean, it wasn't bad, it just wasn't good. I mean, with all those 5-star ratings or 4-star ratings from top, you know, newspapers and magazines and websites, you would have thought that, you know, it'd be amazing, but it just wasn't. I mean, the acting was alright, the action was fairly standard for a film of that type. Ludovico double die technique. A cool item if used efficiently, and synergizes really well with Death's Touch and like items like Explosivo, and what is it called? I think is it Pyro? The one that makes your tears explode every now and then? Pyro tears? Yeah, Ludovico is pretty good for that. And with the pony, yeah, we got an interesting setup here. 2 good items. Well, pony's alright actually. Does grant flight and a dash attack, so that's better than the Bible, I guess, which is only a 1-turn time effect. And Black Hearts with a good old teleport. No, broken remote, sorry. Teleport, what am I thinking? Teleport's a activatable item, not a trinket. Stupid. Like I was saying, Spectre, like I said, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad film, it's just I expected more with all the positive reception it received in both cinemas and in its DVD and Blu-ray release. One problem I had with Spectre was it was a bit too long for my liking. It's like 2 hours and 22 minutes. That's a bit long for me. I think films should be about no more than 2 hours. Like, the reason why I liked films like, Shaun of the Dead was because it was of reasonable length. It was about an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes. I think that's about right for a film, because films are too long nowadays. It's got to sound like a senile person. But, that's coming from the guy who liked Titanic, even though that was like 3 hours long. So I think just for a film like Spectre, it didn't need to be 2 hours and 20 minutes, for crying out loud. Not much really happens in there either, in that film either. They, Daniel Craig and Léa Seydoux, sorry I can't pronounce her name, French actress. They hang around in a hotel, they hang around waiting for a Rolls Royce to pick them up. They hang around a train and make small talk, and yeah, there's a lot of that. I even thought the main villain, played by that guy who did, I think he was in Django Unchained, the bearded guy that tags along with Jamie Foxx, or Jamie Foxx tags along with him, if you will. Yeah, I don't know. I just expected more from how everyone's been talking about, really, and how it's good. I'm hoping I'm not the only one who thinks that Spectre wasn't that great. Am I the only one that thinks that? Well, if I am, I can only apologise, but that's my opinion, and that's how I felt about it. I was kind of a bit bored by it. I was expecting more, and the action was fairly standard. The acting was alright. You could tell this film had a budget, but not a lot really happens. And I guess this is sort of like the conclusion of Daniel Craig's career as James Bond. He stops being an agent and drives in the old-fashioned Aston Martin from the old films. And maybe I'm just not a Bond fan and that's why I don't appreciate it as much, but just saying, I just didn't really... It dragged at times and wasn't very memorable, and I think it was going towards pretentiousness for my liking. So I apologise, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but like I said, it's just an opinion at the end of the day. Let's get back to Afterbirth, shall we? I'm not talking about that stuff after birth. I'm talking about this game. Picked up quite a few cool items. Not sure how advantageous number 1 does with this Ludovica tier that I've got right now. Death's Touch would come in handy right now. I think I could get Death's Touch. No, I don't actually, if I recall. But I do get a cool, interesting item to tag along with the tier. Pick up experimental treatments. Risky, but usually advantageous. Liberty Cap. Meh. Maybe I should have kept the broken remote. Or actually, nah, I think Liberty Cap's a bit better. Because with broken remote you could be sent anywhere in a map and it can either make your playthrough longer or shorter, or both at different intervals. guitar riffs for a few spiders. Oh, so epic. So the setup's okay at the moment. Not quite amazing yet. Well, it doesn't get much more amazing, but you know, there are, like I said earlier, there are a couple things that, oh, past Adam's paused again. Maybe I was checking something, or maybe Windows 10 is doing that thing where it thinks I'm selecting outside the box when it's not. I hate when it happens. That happens too frequently. I've never had that problem with like my touchscreen PC, my old one that I got back in like mid-noughties. Nor did I have that problem with Windows 7 or 8, so damn you Windows 10. Well, Windows 10's alright, it's just, I think I'll probably go back to Windows 7 because I can't play one of my favourite games of all time, Hogs of War, on there. It's still not Windows 10 compatible. I know. Deja vu, I think, because I think I talked about that before. So let's talk about something else, like killing poo with tears. Because, you know, that's never been talked about before in a video like this. I think I stick with the AAA charge. Oh no, that's why I got Ringworm, which spins it around really quickly. That's pretty cool. Increases sort of like the hit radius, I guess. Yep, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yep. Although it would probably have been better if I picked up that trickle charge trinket. That way, well, dash attack doesn't really do too much damage, so I guess Ringworm isn't a bad choice in this case. Because usually with normal tiers it would suck. Because you would always like hit the rocks or you miss enemies. Ringworm, rarely useful, and in this case it is pretty good. A pretty good use for it. Ooh, Diplopia. I must have picked that up because like I said, it's been a while since I've seen this video. I've only really glanced through it. What you doing? You got credit card. Can I use credit card here? Oh, I got to press a button, haven't I? Oh yeah, I forgot. You got to press a button to use the credit card in a room with items you could buy. Of course. Maybe I was saving it for later. Maybe. Oh, I know what I used it for. I think I used it for a devil deal. If I remember rightly. Ah, the Frail. Have I faced him before in our previous video? Your memory is probably better than mine. Not a bad boss. Certainly one of the easier bosses in the Afterbirth library of new bosses. Ooh, magic mushroom. You can't go wrong there. Well, yeah, magic mushroom's got. Oh my god, is that Spirit of the Night? Is it? No, is it? I think so. The symbols all look quite similar. They're all black with oh, that's why you use the Diplopia for. Get dark matter and Spirit of the Night. Now that's not a bad use for the Diplopia, I think anyway. Probably there's obviously been better uses of that, but I don't know, to be able to do that without risking losing hearts, that's pretty cool. I mean, yeah, get rid of the pony. Now I get a better item later on. That's why I remember really getting a better item than a pony. Why did no drop? Get rid of that pony. I got Spirit of the Night. I could already fly. Get past Adam. Past Adam. Listen. Oh, screw you.